Hello, and you're live with Force 13's live tropical discussion. I think Nathan is doing something at the moment, so he's asked me to introduce this show.
The problem is I'm technically not here at the moment.
Where are you then?
Problem is I'm in the middle of lunch, dinner even.
Yeah. Again, so a lot of things going on at the moment. In talking about the tropics. As we have four systems active, two in the South Indian, one in the South Pacific, and one in the Northern Hemisphere in the Western Pacific. So if we go onto my screen share, just going onto it now. So as we can see here, we have the floaters page from the NOAA, and Nathan, can you make sure that it's locked on my screen? Nathan, make sure it's locked on my screen. And if we look at the satellite imagery for 15S, we can see that the storm has made landfall in Madagascar, and it looks as though it's on a sort of southeasterly track, and it looks like it could have re-intensified as well. That hasn't been given a name by the agency in charge of the South Indian, which I forgot the name of. So yeah, as you can see, 15S there. I don't think we have the satellite loop. It's just like the stable one, the one, like one image, not on the satellite loop. And then onto 94S. You can see that system sort of organising itself on the other side of Madagascar, and actually, if we go into a bigger...
Yeah, Mike, that's our new tropical storm.
So a new tropical storm?
If you look at our tracking map, Météo France have named it as a tropical storm.
Okay. See there, there's 15S on the left-hand side. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see there 15S that side. And there's the which is actually still labelled by NOAA as 94S. And then looking at 93P, that storm does seem to be organising itself. And if we look at because we have an animated GIF for this one, if it will load, here we go. And as you can see, actually, that could already be a tropical storm because quite a lot of convection there and quite some intense, quite intense convection at the centre of the system. It looks as though it's quite elongated, but still, it looks as though it is organising itself.
It will happen soon. If people just look at my imagery for a moment, you can see Fiji's track map showing the storm likely to be a Category 3 on the Australian scale. So, significant storm as it heads towards the south in the South Pacific.
Also going on to the Western Pacific Invest, 97W. That's on pretty much on the equator. So it could develop into something, but we'll keep an eye out on it, and to see how that storm plays out. It's actually not far from the international dateline, or the IDL if you want it abbreviated. And I have to see how that system plays out, because it's like more like around like the areas like Yap.
I do think it's unlikely.
Because it's too close to the equator. I think like the US Navy just got bored and probably just labelled that. So yeah, that's all the goings on for these systems at the moment. And is there anything on the computer models? If we'll have a look.
We'll take a look at that shortly.
Also,
sorry about this, guys. I'm just my dinner arrived late, and I'm still in the middle of it, so I can't really talk so much.
I'm trying to hold the fort up. Actually, if I go onto my screen share, am I on my screen share? Yeah, see Jean, John. Actually, so let's look at Nathan's website. We're going onto the cyclone tracker. So you see X15, although that could be a little bit outdated.
Yeah, it
because
is
it's
now.
still over. It's still got 15S over South South Africa. I'm losing my train of thought.
If you go onto page 4 of that, you can go to the. It shows you a few graphics. Yeah, the one you're just on. No, the next one. If you click on any of those, it should load up a page with the latest image on it.
Oh yeah, here we go. This is the upper level winds. This is wind shear map, although I don't believe this has 15S on it. So this could be a
because
little.
it's gone.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
it should be current.
Yeah, there's no 15S should be about here, but where 15S is making landfall, it's looks like it could be decreased on decline. But we'll see how that pans out. But it looks like that could be on decline. But then you can see ahead of it, there's quite a lot
certainly
of
increasing
heavy
to
wind
the
shear.
north there.
North Indian.
Increase in the north. No, over the northern coast of Madagascar, over the ocean there.
There's some pockets of low shear. But can we look at the other wind shear maps? Just looking at the other wind shear.
Daniel, nice of you to join us. Hello?
Hello.
Oh gosh, that's quite a delay.
I'm not going to bother if it's delaying. I'm going to go off. There's no point.
Well, it was nice to talk to you again, Dan.
Because I can barely hear you. I can't hear anybody. It's a waste of time.
Okay then. Well, thanks for trying to get here anyway.
I don't know. I'll see if it improves. It's terrible.
Actually, I've got the imagery up now for the live wind tracker. I think my teacher actually showed me this, and I think Nathan has used this in some of his videos.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Earth Null School wind tracker. So if we put it up to the Atlantic, North Atlantic, nothing really happening as you would expect at this time of year.
Yeah, I'd say so.
You've got the trade winds in the Atlantic, and possibly that looks as though, although I think it is spinning the wrong way, so it could be an anticyclone. I don't know. Just trying to zoom in. It's about here. If it will load up. Yeah, there you go. Looks like that could be a low pressure system heading towards UK. But at the moment, mostly high pressure dominating.
That never happens, Michael. We always get them.
Yeah, that was a story of British life back in the 2013 to 14 winter.
In other words, last winter.
Yeah. Then we're now going to the Indian Ocean.
Dean, thanks for joining us, by the way.
You can also see there, I believe, 15S around here. Some already made landfall and looks as though it's a very, very weak system.
Yeah, the most thing that sticks out the most there is Invest 94S, which of course is now Cyclone Haliburgh, as far as I can tell. Is what's to the left of Reunion Island over there, the biggest feature that we can see.
So I'm going to zoom in on that. There you go. And then if we go and look at the Western Pacific, we can probably see, if possible, see Invest 97W.
Yep.
Ah, yep, here we go. There, if you can see there, that I believe is Invest 97W. Now it looks as though that could be the South Pacific Invest as well.
93T, definitely, that's the one there. That's going to be a TS before long, yeah.
Yeah, and there's what I believe is a 97S.
You mean 97W, right?
97W, yeah. And that's not 93S, that's 93P. So if you can see my cursor, that is 93P and 97W there. It looks as though that 97W does have a very exposed core. So I don't know about that development, and also it is quite close to the equator as well, which wouldn't help the development of the system, although the sea surface temperatures should still be conducive for cyclone development.
Mike, just to show those who have just tuned in, you can see the tropical low in the South Pacific on my screen here in the South Pacific, likely to become a significant cyclone over the next few days. This is the one we're probably going to be watching the most closely in the next few days. Of course, we've also got Cyclone Haliber, which will certainly make a run very, very close to the island of Reunion before it moves towards the southeast. We'll have a track map on that very shortly after I finish my dinner.
Anyway, so on a completely unrelated note, did anybody see the game show last night on Force 13 Extra? Comment on the video
You've been
below.
waiting a while for comments, Mike. Don't forget we do have around a minute's delay as well.
I know. And also, I might be putting something together as well, possibly because I've seen a lot of you been asking Nathan for hypothetical hurricane seasons, but what I may do is make them into like a wiki sort of page. So if you can send them to me, I'll be more than happy to make it into a wiki page for you. And I'm just going. Also, if you guys have any questions, I don't know if the Q&A is actually on here. We could answer your questions if you have any. Can you So yeah, have you got the Q&A on here, Nathan?
Just give me a few minutes whilst I finish up here. Dean enjoyed the game show, by the way. He's just told me. Thanks, Dean.
Hey, Waniel's back.
It kicked me off again because apparently my internet connection is not good enough. I'm sick of it. It's useless, this app.
All right, Waniel, keep your hair on.
I managed to get it a bit more responsive because I deleted a few apps from the memory and it's a bit more...
Yeah. I'm just saying that it might be better that...
Actually, Nathan, Dean Land says, can you do the Eastern Pacific hurricane season for 2014?
Yeah, it's on its way, don't worry, Dean. We're nearing completion on that now, finally. It will be online in the next week, hopefully. But Daniel, I don't suppose you could turn off your webcam and leave your mic on? It might help your connection speed.
Actually, should we
try that?
Yeah, Nathan, should we do the Guess the Cyclone again? So if I get some pictures up, we can do Guess the Cyclone.
Oh, well, we're supposed to be doing storm updates at the moment, Mike.
Yeah.
For some reason, my other screen's turned off. So at the moment, I'm just going to turn that to VGA. We're good.
I'm so close to finishing my dinner, and then Michael will be fine again.
I'm gonna get some images for Guess the Storm.
Okay. I'm sick of this, I am. Not be able to use my PC.
So yeah, how was everyone's day?
Alright.
Yeah, just fine.
It's so funny.
Well, you're just a word of advice. Look at the Force 13 chat room.
On
Did
my
you see the
chat,
picture? Did you see the picture and caption with Andrew was sent?
Yeah, Andrew's old.
Just have a look at that then.
I had more than that face. I was doing something. No, actually, no. Anyway, so yeah, I'll get some images up, guys, for Guess the Storm.
Alright, time for me to retain control of all this. Okay, guys. What you're looking at right now is an image, as I said earlier, of Invest 93P, which is likely to become our next tropical cyclone in the South Pacific. It's currently located just northeast of Vanuatu and is likely to continue towards the south. I don't really think they're quite sure where exactly it's going to go. Initially, models said that it would affect Vanuatu directly, including the capital, Villa, and then move on towards the southeast. But now it looks like it's going to be more straight track, I suppose, and fairly slow moving as well as it heads towards the southeast, which means that Fiji now is perhaps potentially in the crosshairs of this storm, or a part of it, when it gets itself going. Predicting a Category 3 storm on the Australian scale, and if you look down here, winds 64 to 85 knots, so quite a significant wind speed. That's around 75 to 100 miles per hour, around 115, 120 kilometers per hour, up to perhaps 160 by the time we get to these 2 points here. And it could even intensify further after that as well. Looking at the invests right now, all the activity actually, the remnants, you could call it, of 15S, they seem to have ramped up on its run up to the landfall in Madagascar, which has occurred. It's now inland, and of course heavy rain is going to be delivered over there now. I was looking at it yesterday, and there's very little left of that system. So it's come back, perhaps with a vengeance, and it's on its way through Madagascar now. Looking at 93P, there's the latest satellite imagery from the Navy. You can see it there, looking rather impressive. We'll try and get another image of that shortly, actually. There's 94S, which we now call Cyclone Haliber. It's formed. It's a cyclone. It's a fairly small system just west of the island of Reunion. There's probably a new image on that, actually, now. We'll come back to that. Invest 97W there as well. Not much of that system. You can just about see the island of Cosray there on the system. And further to the left-hand side, you've also got the island of Ponte. Looking at the satellite imagery from Jean, showing the latest radar. Sorry, I'm saying radar when I look at that image for some reason. Satellite imagery in a loop there. What's been going on recently? Looks like there's a lot of heavy rain and thunderstorms passing through Rodrigues as well, which is rather interesting, but not related to any of the storms. Michael.
Yeah, I'm doing.
It crashed again.
Unlucky, Dan.
I'm working on the Guess the Storm at the moment.
No,
I can't see anything on your screen at the moment.
Yes, that's because it's on me, not my screen.
Oh yeah.
Let's take a look at the track map from Meteo France for the new Cyclone Haliber. You can see it here on my image. So as you can see, predicted to swipe the southern coast of Réunion and then continue towards the southeast, taking a little bit of a loop there as it curves around and towards the north. Making all the noise, by the way. Is that Daniel? curving round, making a loop,
Yep.
and then turning post-tropical and heading towards the southeast, continuing on its trek out towards latitudes. And there's also a map shown by Jean there showing the latest tracks. Doesn't show the forecasted track though, so we'll stick with my image, showing how the storm will pass Reunion pretty close as a tropical storm already. We have some rain warnings in effect for the island of Reunion, the northern territories. Provinces. I'm not so familiar with where these places are, but the northeastern sides under the highest warning and a lesser warning for the southern sides. But either way, it's storm expected to pass the south of Reunion, and actually Halibut has officially formed for the US Navy as well now. So another image of this. Let's have a look. Takes a while though. Here we are. Just west of Reunion, and the storm is expected to brush the southern part of that island. We could see heavy rainfall, but with the speed it's moving, probably not as much as some other storms have done in the past. Mike.
Still working on that, and also, so it should be interesting what storms form. And I'm very tired at the moment.
I see. Daniel, have you got anything to add? Nope, he's gone. He's left us. He's having some difficulties, so we'll try and get him back.
His brother won't let him on the computer.
Let's see what this is. Oh, that's the West Pacific shear map. So
Andrew says he's looking at his screen.
Yeah, I can see it. You can see this area here, right to your bottom right-hand side of your image. That's where the current invest is, 97W. So it's low, marginal, high on the left-hand side over those islands of Cosray and Pohnpei. High amounts of wind shear there. Lower amounts further west over Chuuk. Same too over the Philippines, very low indeed, over the Philippines and the South China Sea. So if a storm ever formed there, then it's going to have a field day, but fortunately at the moment there isn't anything likely to form there at this time. Sea surface temperatures, let's have a look at that. If it doesn't crash the application like it did last time. It is a big image. Eastern Pacific there, warming up nicely. South Pacific, this is further towards the east than where our current invest is, 93p, but you can see again, if a storm formed near American Samoa and Tonga towards the south there as well, warm waters 30 degrees Celsius, but moving further towards the east, over this area now, cooler waters in this pocket here near Madagascar. That's at least partially due to the Cyclone 15S that has been over the area recently. On the right-hand side also...
like the cold water trail.
Yeah, also falling a little bit there as well on the eastern coast of Madagascar, because there's been a lot of cloud cover there in the past few days. Over to Reunion Island, water temperatures around 28 or 29 degrees. That means that Cyclone Halibut could intensify somewhat before it does make landfall. I think John's got another track map up for us. You can see a projected path of what the storm may do over the next few days. 24 hours time, it's expected to be clear of Reunion. That might be slightly optimistic, but we'll see what the deal is with that. Michael, quit laughing, it's unprofessional. Keeping on with the sea surface temperature imagery though, looking towards Australia. Okay, it won't let me scroll with the mouse wheel anymore. Australia, 30-degree waters, still very commonplace. 32 in the Gulf of Carpentaria as well, very warm indeed. And further east, where the current invest is, still very warm waters there as well, around 30 degrees Celsius, where 93p is. Same too for invest 97W. Along the eastern coast of Australia, very warm there as well. There is rumours of a storm perhaps forming there in a few days' time as well. I'll check up on the moles with you very shortly. But Michael, can you take it for us just for a moment?
Hi. And what we're talking about? Here we go. So I've got one or two images if you guys want to guess what the images are.
I'll be checking your comments very shortly as well, guys.
Actually, I could check them out as well. Might
So
check
can
them
I.
out.
There isn't anything new, don't worry.
Can anybody guess this storm?
We're currently looking at Jean's image of the current storm systems over the southwest Indian Ocean. Michael's apparently got a picture to show us. So, oh, it's just gone, so we won't take a look at that just yet. Let me instead show you, if you could just hang fire for a few moments, Michael, what the models say for the South Pacific, which is going to be loading up any minute. Get on with it. There it is. All right. So here you can see, I showed you this yesterday, and you could see the new storms forming on both sides of Australia. Let's see what's changed. So, as we progress, this is the area we're particularly interested in. That's Invest 93. Where's that going to go? The GFS model still thinks it will be a significant storm making landfall or passing very close to Vanuatu. There's also a secondary system over Fiji producing heavy rainfall. There's a third system off the east coast of Australia near the far north of Queensland. Now that's going to be an interesting feature as well over boiling hot waters, could intensify significantly. And then you've got a fourth system on the left-hand side of Australia, which means we might see a lot of late season activity if we indeed possibly maybe 4 storms active. That one looks more like a depression near Fiji, but still heavy rainfall associated with that. But those 3 systems there. But this one here, 93p, definitely the one to watch. It's not quite as strong as what the initial model said a few days ago, but still a significant system, a threat, definitely a threat to Vanuatu. And that system there, if it could possibly deliver heavy rainfall to Australia, even though it doesn't necessarily make landfall there, could be a concern there too. Not quite for areas affected by Marcia, that's further south, but further north, near Cairns and that sort of area, may see some heavy rainfall. I'm not quite sure what the situation is, whether Australia is in a drought or not at this time of year up in Queensland, so I don't know whether it would be beneficial or not. Might check that up later on. But you can see here, as this storm enters the mid-latitudes, as it turns post-tropical, still a very significant storm, and expands quite significantly. Initially, it looked like it would be a big storm for New Zealand as a post-tropical cyclone, but that seems to be less likely now. It looks like it's going to take a more easterly track. And then, towards the end of this forecast period, you can see what's left of that storm in the Coral Sea affecting New Caledonia. It doesn't look like there'll be all that much left of it by then, and it seems that the system that formed not too far from Australia appears to have gone well out over the South Indian Ocean, so maybe that's not going to be a threat. Not going to be a threat now. In the meantime, I think Andrew's got something to show us, or maybe he did. I think he was going to show us something before. We'll get back to that in a moment. But there's the satellite imagery of the latest storms. Oh yes, there's another infrared imagery provided by Andrew's screen there. Showing the situation. You can see all 3 areas. The third one off to the east, not been designated as anything, but it was delivering heavy rainfall to Rodrigues and that sort of area too. Mike.
On the Guess the Storm as well, there's going to be a little hint. I've used the icons you sent me ages ago, and going to put them like just as a hint. It's like, say I've got one storm that's category 3 storm. I put a little icon that's like got category 3 on it.
Oh boy.
It spins.
Okay. Mental disorder says, is Haliburton going to affect Mauritius? Well, let's again take a look at the track forecast to see how far away from Mauritius the storm will be. It's just outside of that cone of uncertainty, so I think at worst you'll be looking at a little bit of maybe some heavy rain here and there, some thunderstorms. I don't think anything severe will occur in Mauritius. I don't think even Reunion will have too much of a bad time, but of course you can't ever be too safe with all that. We could still be seeing wind gusts of maybe 50 miles per hour or higher. That's my phone going off. Just give me a moment.
I bet that's Waniel. Anyway, so I'll hold the fort while Nathan does that. And what's going on here? Okay. So yeah, interesting. Could potentially have 4 systems active all at once. But we don't know what will happen with that yet. What? Is that your chimp, Andrew? Andrew. So is that live where you are now?
Andrew's showing a YouTube video there.
No, it's not. It's actually his chimp.
No, it's a YouTube video. I've seen it once before.
Oh.
Michael, language, thank you. In the meantime, sorry about that disturbance, in my commentary at least. I'm just looking through the comments once more. Yeah, Mental Disorder says it has been so long since Mauritius has witnessed a real cyclone. Depends how you define a real cyclone, I suppose. By that, do you mean a landfall or what? Who knows? Of course, Bansi and Eunice, as Dean Lands points out, wasn't too far away from Mauritius. Didn't directly affect the islands, but pretty close. I'm not sure whether I finished detailing what the sea surface temperatures were. The West Pacific, fairly warm. The 26 degrees extends as far north as the strait between the Philippines and Taiwan, also as far as almost halfway up Vietnam at this point as well. North Indian Ocean, sometimes we see development in spring there. 28 degrees, certainly warm enough over there. I suspect that other factors aren't conducive at this time, which is why we're not seeing anything there at this time, or we don't really usually. Sometimes you see something happen in April or May. Michael, anything to say?
Yeah, with the Western Pacific Invest, I don't think that will develop because it's the factor's like too close to the equator, isn't it?
I don't think that's the problem. Obviously, it's not sea surface temperatures. I mean, there's a lot of heavy wind shear in the area, and obviously it's proximity to the equator, but if you look at it on the satellite imagery, there isn't really much of it. I mean, just look at it. There's hardly anything there at this time, and this last time I checked, the models did not anticipate any development out of that whatsoever.
So would we like to do the guess the storm then?
I guess so, at least for a moment.
I'm getting it almost. It's almost prepared now. Just need to do one more thing.
Typing a message.
Insert. It's almost done, guys. Just give me 2 seconds.
1, 2.
I knew Nathan would say that. So
Oh, you shouldn't have invited.
How did I know that you would say that? 1, 2.
Okay. So, those of you who have just joined us, Cyclone Haliber has formed in the Indian Ocean, not far from Reunion. I'm not quite sure what its intensity is. Actually, let's take a look at this. It's probably going to be a different link now if I close that. Cyclone Halibut. Let's see whether the 6 p.m. UTC information is in. Yes, indeed, I can confirm 40 miles per hour. Its pressure is probably around 996 millibars. Position 20.4 degrees south, 52.6 degrees east. And the latest imagery shows how the storm compares in size to what's left of Cyclone 15S. You can see 15S on your left-hand side, and a big flare up to the south as well over Madagascar. And then further east, of course, you've got the new Cyclone 16, Halibut, and you can just about make out the yellow outline of Réunion, just on the very edge of the heavy rainfall. And speaking of heavy rainfall, Mauritius also has a heavy rainfall, heavy rain warning bulletin that was issued at 5 p.m. I believe local time, which would have been a few hours ago now. But that may possibly be a tropical storm watch or warning at some point, or whatever, a class 1 warning. That's what they issue down there. I don't know whether that will or will not come to fruition. It is a fairly weak storm, compact, and probably won't affect Mauritius too much. But you can never say never, can you, Mike?
Guess the storm is now ready.
Michael wants people to guess the storm.
Okay then.
It seems that Andrew has left us. So in the meantime, anyone on the chat right now, if you've got any questions about the storms, what you think may happen, whether it's just general questions, you can ask them to me, to us. And if you've got a question directed to one of us in particular, then please do say who, and
Nathan.
We'll try and answer for you.
Okay, ready to go.
Michael's compiled a little bit of a presentation here, but as soon as we get any information on the storms, the latest information, we'll let you know as soon as possible. I think most people will know what this storm is, Mike. You make things far too easily. You make things far too easy. All my words are just. Should I just stop talking or what?
Yeah. So can anybody guess this storm? Although we do know there is about a minute delay.
People will know what this is, Mike. Come on.
I'm just waiting for it to come in. Just wait for the...
Yeah, there will. Oh, no doubt there will. Yeah. We all know. I'm sure we'll all know what storm this is.
Yes,
oh look,
Jack's
Jack's
got it.
You've got it. You're looking as well. I see. I'll leave Michael to the reading out the answers from everyone.
So if you can see there now, it's just come up. Typhoon tip is the correct answer. Jack's go.
Yeah. Well, Michael at least provide a bit of a challenge to these veteran storm trackers. We had this one last time.
Just see if anybody can get it.
But it's the same people as last time, Mike.
Yeah, but
of course they're gonna get it.
Do you know what basin it is, Nathan?
Yep.
What basin is it?
I'm not gonna say.
You can say the basin.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say. In the meantime, we'll go back to that image very shortly if no one's guessed it. But here's Gene. Sorry, I keep saying his name wrong. It's difficult to get out of English pronunciations to French pronunciations sometimes. Jean's map, showing the wind speeds around the cyclone Halibut. I almost forgot its name then for a moment. You see the peripheral side of it just starting to affect Réunion, but I really shouldn't think that you'll see wind speeds higher than 40 miles per hour sustained, maybe a little bit more, but wind gusts possibly over 50 miles an hour, so it's certainly a good idea at least to keep everything secure and take all the usual precautions. Just
the Teen Lands just said Hurricane Marie. Hurricane Marie was a Category 5, not a Category 3 storm.
Michael! It sounds rude. As in, you sound like... Anyway, whatever. It's a Category 3 storm, and it was not Marie. There you go. I wonder whether Jean could show us the same map for Invest 93P over in the Pacific by any chance.
So is anybody can guess? Anybody
Very good.
guessing?
Yeah, they will. Don't worry.
Anybody guessing?
I mean, if
Go on.
anyone was watching last time, then I'm sure they'll know because you picked the same. Can't you pick any different pictures? I think Andrew was best at this game. Actually putting things out there, you know. Looking back at our imagery, you can see there, look at the amount of influence 93P has. You can see the winds extending almost as far as Papua New Guinea, I suppose. So it just looks to, when you think about the storm, you just think that perhaps, I mean, sorry, when you look at it like that, you just, I mean, I at least get the feeling that it will be something quite significant in the next few days, looking at the models as well. Certainly something that people in Vanuatu, Fiji, all those areas are going to have to certainly watch out for over the next few days. And of course, as always, we'll have all the updates as soon as they come in. Michael's revealed the answer to the storm in question. It was Michael in 2012. What a surprise. That's his name. I think we all know what this one is. Hey, Mike.
I'm just waiting for it to come up on the live stream.
Yeah, it's going to be at least a minute delay. So, is this all you ever want to do when you're on here, Mike? Anyway, sorry, too much dead air for a moment there. Are you still alive, Michael?
Yeah.
Oh, he's still there. He's just waiting.
I'm waiting for it to come onto the.
It's
There we go.
not very professional for people to just wait and
Yeah.
refer to things that happen
I'm
in
watching.
it's very,
What was that on?
very
I'm watching. I'm
very-
waiting.
very quick to confuse people. What's on John's screen?
Ding ding ding! We
Right,
have a winner.
yeah.
Dean
Yeah.
Lawrence.
Dean got it. Here you can see the whole world view showing everything that's going on around the world. This is wind speed maps. Looks like the strongest system anywhere in the world at the moment is that extratropical cyclone affecting the Alaskan island chain. The name of that chain actually escapes me for a moment.
Everyone's gonna get this one.
And the second strongest, I wonder, maybe the one just to the east might take that title. But Michael's got another image for us. I knew what it is just looking at the thumbnail. It was so obvious. Oh, Michael, we've lost it. I think we might have it back. I don't know whether anyone else can see this, but I certainly can't at this time, so I don't know whether anyone can see what Michael is showing, because I can't. But it's a strong storm. I'll say that much. Whoa, Michael, what's going on with your voice? I think we might be losing you a bit, Mike. Because your voice sounds like a weird, like, 80s music effect or something. Thanks, Jessica. I thought it was the Aleutian Islands, but I didn't know for sure whether it was, and didn't want to sound like a fool. Yeah, Mike, you might want to come back in a moment, because I don't think we're receiving you very well. Maybe you might want to relaunch yourself on the on this hangout here. In the meantime, let me give any new viewers a recap. Oh, Dean's got it. Dean, so obviously people could see it because Dean says it's Haiyan, and it looked like Haiyan to me on the thumbnail. So I think he's got that right. I'm not sure whether we can hear Michael right now. Michael? I don't think I can hear him. I don't know whether anyone else can, considering that Dean, I assume, saw Haiyan, unless he just had a big guess on that. But let me just remind everyone who's watching the latest on the storms. Just a quick recap on everything going on around the world, storm-wise, as I often say. The remnants of Cyclone 15S. There they are, over the western coast of Madagascar. Wind speeds now 30 miles an hour, pressures 1004 millibars, position 18.2 south, 44.4 east. Also, Invest 93P. Look at it. It's quite expansive. And the central core quite easy to see at the centre there, just northeast of the, I think that's the northernmost Vanuatu Islands, but they may be part of the Solomon Islands, I'm not sure. That's expected to move towards the southeast or south-southeast. Of course, Cyclone Haliber now has formed 40 miles an hour. Air pressure is probably around 996 millibars, heading towards Réunion, and Invest 97W as well, just east of Cosray in Micronesia. So that's a quick recap of what's going on. Michael, can we receive you at the moment? Are you there? Again, I can't hear Mike, so I don't know if Mike can hear Mike or if anyone else can hear Mike, but at the moment I can't at this time. So, Jean, I don't suppose you have any other interesting graphics to show us on your screen? Yes, there's a track map for Cyclone Haliber. So it became a tropical storm. They've called it at 10 p.m. local time in La Réunion. So that's around 6 p.m. UTC. So 2 hours ago, it officially became a tropical storm, and it's likely to continue towards the southeast, just grazing the southern coast of Réunion and then moving towards the southeast. They expect that the storm will make a very tight loop on around the 10th, so 2 days from now, into the 11th, and then turn post-tropical or whatever, and then move well out to sea. So it will be a fairly short-lived cyclone over the next few days. But Réunion certainly should be preparing for tropical storm conditions and some heavy rainfall. I don't suppose they're still doing tracking maps on 15S. I don't think they are anymore, actually. But that's moved over Madagascar. We don't expect that it will continue on the other side of Madagascar, so I think we're likely to see the storm dissipate completely over the island. There's another view of the track map as well. Just wondering what else to show you at the moment. I wonder whether the JTWC have done a version of the tracking map yet. Not yet. I think we'll be expecting it sometime soon. Just in case, let's also have a look at what the models are expecting for the southwest Indian Ocean. If you could just spare me a moment whilst I quit clicking the wrong buttons and actually get it up. Unfortunately, Michael and Daniel have just had to drop out for the time being. I'm not sure whether we'll be having them back or not. Let's hope so, because I struggle to talk on my own for so long. Anyway, looking at my screen once more then, what we predict for this area. So you can see both systems. You can see Haliber moving towards the southeast, pretty much the same stuff as what we already saw. But what I'm particularly looking at here is whether we see any new storms forming in the distant future. But it appears that apart from 1 or 2 low pressure systems that don't become much, we're not going to get anything new in the southwest Indian Ocean at least. And I don't think there's anything else of note to look at on that satellite, on that model run at least. So we'll leave it there. But there we are. Invest 93p, certainly something we'll be watching out for very soon as well. Here's the graphical map for that one. So you can see in the next few days, I think this goes out to 3 days if I'm not mistaken. And the Category 3 storm on the Australian scale predicted, and I don't know whether that's Tatu Taka, perhaps a small island right under the storm's trajectory there. Also, something that I didn't point out on the loop here something that other people are pointing out right now. Some interesting occurrences going on in the South Atlantic. I did wonder about that because I saw a few things in the past as well. Let's just rewind a little bit. So first of all, you have this low pressure system off Brazil, which may or may not become something. Who knows? It'd be quite something if we saw two subtropical or tropical storms forming in the South Atlantic in one season. And then you have two low pressures on either side of the high there, but nothing much in that. Then you have this other interesting feature here, which forms above a high pressure system. I wonder whether that will become anything. It's difficult to tell, really, I suppose, on this, but I'm sure we'll find out in the next few days anyway. Looking at the current conditions near South America, not much going on there at the moment. Looking at Jean's map, large extratropical low just southeast of New Zealand, and a strong extratropical low headed towards heading towards Oblighty as well in the North Atlantic. So far this year in 2015, I think we've seen 13 tropical storms, 7 hurricane equivalent cyclones, and 5 major hurricane equivalent storms. Don't forget, 2014 finished up with 80 tropical storms, 80, believe it or not, 45 hurricanes and 27 major hurricanes. And now I may as well show you what happened on this day on March the 8th and March the 9th, considering that some places are already in March the 9th at this time. I think it's always interesting to look back on what happened on this day in the past. So yes, March the 8th, that's today here in the UK and in all of the Western Hemisphere and a tiny bit of the Eastern Hemisphere now. On the 8th of March in 2002, Typhoon Mitag dissipated in the Western Pacific. That was a Category 5 storm. I think it was included in Hurricane Week 2013, if I'm not mistaken. Later on, Cyclone George in 2007 made landfall in Western Australia as a Category 3 storm. It killed 5 and caused $16 million in damages. Next year, Tropical Storm Kamba formed in the southwest Indian Ocean. In 2012, Tropical Storm Koji formed in the southeastern Indian Ocean. Also, really interesting to note that Subtropical Storm Anita in 2010 formed in the South Atlantic on this day. So maybe there is some weight in that model prediction. It has happened before on this day, but I'm not actually insinuating that it would happen today. And you see on John's screen right now the huge amount of cloud over the South Pacific Ocean. Michael's back with us. Hi, Mike.
Right.
I
don't know what happened to my computer there.
I was just going through what happened on this day, not quite finished. In 2013, Tropical Storm Sandra formed in the Coral Sea. We all know what happened with that one. And in 2014...
That's my grand's name.
Yes, in 2014, Tropical Storm Gillian formed in the Southeast Indian Ocean, and of course we know what happened with that one as well. That was a Cat 5 on both the Australian and the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. And on the 9th of March, Tropical Storm... hold on a minute. I'm just making sure I'm looking at the right one first because it's in the wrong order. Tropical Storm Willie formed in the southeastern Indian Ocean in 2005, followed by Tropical Storm Dewa, which dissipated in the southwest Indian Ocean the next year, 2006. And 2 events happened last year in 2014. Tropical Storm Hardy formed in the Coral Sea, and Tropical Storm Lucy formed in the South Pacific. So it was a pretty busy day once more on March the 9th, as well as the 8th in these areas. Michael.
Huh?
Huh.
I know.
Great response.
At the moment, completely unrelated at the moment. My head teacher's leaving the school this year.
Excellent. I'm
and
sure they'd
Jargoon,
really love
Doomsday.
to hear that, Mike, on Force 13.
I was just saying because yeah, it's actually he's head of an autistic school,
I see.
and he's one of those head teach. Oh, he's one of those head teachers that's
Fine, Mike.
like they just do everything right, if you know what I mean.
I wonder how many of those there are. It's been a long time since I was around a head teacher.
One of those head teachers is just like
Now
it's
everyone's
like
going to call me
some of
old.
them. It's like some of them. It's just like some of them. You can think that they're a real douche, but he's not. He's quite a nice guy actually.
There it is. Michael lays it out in plain English. Some of them are douches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's proper.
I don't think.
That's probably proper Cockney.
Right. I don't think we'll be entertaining head teacher talk though. At least not on the main channel. Maybe on Force 13 Extra, Mike, if you want people to chat about their head teachers and their principals and all that stuff.
Well, at the moment.
Yeah. Sean's showing us the satellite imagery again on the goings on in the southwest Indian Ocean. That's from Mauritius. Showing the latest few frames. So Michael, what do you think will come of 93p?
What did you say?
What do you think will happen with Invest 93p?
I think that could become quite a strong storm actually. Possibly category 4, Saff Simpson.
That's interesting.
I'm completely ignoring. I think it's going to be a category 4 storm on the Saff Simpson scale.
Yeah, I think we just about caught that. You're still fading in and out at the moment, Mike.
Yeah.
Let me try and load up some interesting data sheets, perhaps. What day are we on? What date? 8th of March, which is day number 67, if I'm not mistaken. And by day 67 around the world, there had been 15 tropical storms that had formed in 2014. We're up to 15 already. We're only at 13 so far in this year. Michael, there's something you might want to answer on the chat on the YouTube right now.
What was it?
Have a look.
I'm not on the page.
Fine. He wants to know if the guess the storm was Haiyan.
Yes, it was.
Yes, I thought it was. Also, on this day in 2013, we had reached 13 storms, so we're level with 2013 at the moment, storms-wise. In 1992, we'd already got up to 16, and in 1996, we had reached 15 by now. So we're a few behind those two at this time. But we're still ahead of everyone on Category 5s, at least of those years. We're still on 2 Cat 5s, aren't we? And at least on the
Hickos did almost make it to Category 5, I think, didn't it?
No, not quite. On the Saffir-Simpson-Hogan wind scale, this is, by the way, in 1992, on this day, March the 8th, the first Category 5 storm formed of that year worldwide.
I'm working on a storm database at the moment. Nathan?
Yep. Well, you've probably been working on that for some time.
Yeah. It's like a list, so like it's got this in columns. It's got storm name, formed, dissipated. It will have its storm category. Then you have the wind speed.
Stop then.
You have the wind speed, and then the pressure. And also, it will have wind mean.
Well, you may remember Force 13's feature when we did the Notability Index. It covered all those bases and more as well. I'm trying to expand a different kind of database right now, which actually factors in every single part of the storm. Probably not giving a final score at the end because it's pretty confusing, but just to give you the raw facts, I suppose, to show you what the worst storms were in terms of whatever you want to go off. And I think we had a data sheet for 2014. If anyone is interested in having a look, it is Force. Actually, I'll show you on my very own thingamajig. Here we are. If you're interested, anyone by this is what happened in 2014. The strongest storms, their peak intensities, you can see Vongfong, Nuri and Hagapit all reaching 180 miles an hour and around 907 millibars. Category 5 Saffir-Simpson-Hogan wind scale. There are 7 Cat 5s and there are 4 in the Western Pacific, 2 in the east. Well, Genevieve should be west really, shouldn't it? But it formed in the east, that's why it says EP there. And Gillian in the South Indian Ocean. Quite a lot of Cat 4s, few Cat 3s, few Cat 2s, quite a lot of 1s, and several tropical storms as well.
I think the East EPAC had quite a lot of Category 4 storms. I believe it was Amanda, Christina, Genevieve, and then it was Iselle.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Then we had Deal and Simon. There were 6 Category 4s, 1 Category 5, I believe 2 Category 3s, 1 Category 2. I think it was 4 or 5 Category 1s, and the rest were tropical storms and plus 16E as well.
I'm only counting 5 Cat 4s here.
Wait, it was Amanda, Christina, Genevieve.
Oh, you counting Genevieve. There you go. That's where the 6th one comes from. In any case, continuing. Just interesting to show people. The most landfalls belong to the Western Pacific. That's because a lot of these storms navigate the Philippines and all of its islands. Not sure quite whether the landfall count is correct, but I've tried my very best to make sure that it's as correct as possible. The amount of countries the storms affected as well produces different results. Bertha and Gonzalo being the highest amongst those. The fatality count, by the end of 2014, Ramazan had killed the most, unfortunately, with 195, followed by Hud Hud with 109 and Ling Ling with 70. Injuries, Ramazan 1,271, followed by Hagapit with 916 apparently. Missing, these might be different now, but Ling Ling was the most with 9. Monetary damage, Hud Hud with 11,000 million, or in other words, $11 billion. Buildings damaged, as far as we can tell. Hagapit destroying nearly 250,000 buildings, apparently, or damaging them rather. But destroyed completely, Ramazan was responsible for 51,000, followed by Hagapit with 42,000. Evacuees, over 700,000 for 2 storms. Imagine that, being one of 700,000 to evacuate a storm. But those are interesting little data sheets there. You can access it by, if you can see it on my screen, the link is force13.com/2014data.pdf.
Nathan, I think actually one thing, reason for evacuees in Hagapit, I think everybody was scared shitless after Haiyan last year.
Language, Mike.
The year before.
Language, Mike.
Well...
We don't have a beep machine.
Beep.
We certainly don't have a beep machine. But
it's true, they probably were scared out of their wits because of Haiyan.
Yep.
So they actually thought at one point Haiyan would be, Hagupit would be the same intensity as Typhoon Haiyan.
It was actually forecasted officially at one point. Let me just get down on some comments. Dina is asking whether I'm able to do the Southern Hemisphere seasons of 2014-15 when they're finished. Yes, we are planning to do all of them. Maybe even the South Atlantic. I don't know yet. We'll see.
We've had one or two. Actually, Nathan.
Dude says, is there any storms going on? Sorry, Mike.
I was thinking.
Talking about the storms in just a moment, Mike.
Actually, I was thinking with the animations, you could do like a worldwide one, like a whole overview of the year.
That's been planned. I tried to do it in 2013, but it didn't work so well.
Well, I think it might work actually.
Well, the only reason it didn't work so well is because I didn't do it really right. But there you go.
I might have to try it. Maybe do last year and see what happens. If I can get a Seraph Movie Plus.
Right. let me just remind any new people that have just arrived, and there's at least one, what the current situation is storm-wise. Cyclone 15S, what's left of it, has made landfall in Madagascar. There's not much left of that now. 30 miles an hour at this time. We're Invest 93p. That's going to be our next storm by the looks of things. Looking fairly potent at this time, and Fiji predicts it to become a Category 3 storm on the Australian scale, not the SAFA. Category 1 probably on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Cyclone Haliber has formed just west of Réunion. This is the one that's most of an immediate threat, which is likely to pass over or very close to the island of Réunion, just further down there, as probably a weak tropical storm, but you never know. It might intensify that little bit more, and we may have a bit of a storm in our hands. And Invest 97W, located in the West Pacific, just east of Kosrae, part of Micronesia, not likely to form at this time.
Hang on. What's going on there?
Hang on to what?
Yeah, no, actually, no. I was about to say something extremely rude then.
Michael, don't. Thank you. Let's
it's
take a look
actually
at
come up on Wikipedia about Cyclone Haliber. It's come up on Wikipedia now.
That's no surprise. It's a shear map for the Australian region. You can just about make out the outline for Australia there. It's quite easy to see, I think, actually. Just to the east, there's a low area of wind shear here. Now, this is where our next storm may form. The models are hinting that it's going to be around where my mouse is hovering here. If I remember correctly, there was a storm not too long ago that formed in a similar position, but I really can't remember what storm it was. There was a storm up there, I'm sure of it, near the top end, not the top end, but the far north of Queensland. Further east, there's a low shear pocket near Vanuatu and southern part of the Solomon Islands. This little blue area here is where our current invest is, 93p. Despite the high amount of shear to its north, I thought it was looking pretty good on the map, on the satellite image. High amounts of shear down here near New Caledonia and over Fiji. You'll see it there as well. Let's go look at the Southeast Pacific as well. Showing another view here. High amounts of wind shear over Fiji. Those of you who are unfamiliar with shear maps, the red areas, of course, showing really high amounts. The blue areas is the conditions that are conducive to tropical cyclone development generally. The yellow and higher than that is generally unfavorable as wind shear rips apart a storm. It really can't get itself going then. The blue dashed lines show areas where wind shear is decreasing, and by how much. Same too for the white lines, only that's increasing and not decreasing. Jean also has the latest satellite image on his PC as well, I think. Which, if you can see it, I can't on my screen at the moment, but if you can see it, it's showing the latest satellite imagery of the activity in the South Pacific and, well, the whole of the Pacific, really, I suppose. Also, a place that we haven't looked yet, the Indian Ocean. Well, we have looked once, haven't we? You can see a large swathe here of high amounts of wind shear near the northern coast of Madagascar. Lower amounts further south where those two storms are, but it really is a narrow gap, which means that Haliber will have some trouble, I imagine, intensifying, which is why it's not expected to be much more than 40 or 45 miles per hour.
Knock knock.
Jokes, really, Mike?
No.
I don't know what you're going to say. You're usually very rude and inappropriate when you do that.
You know, I'm working on my Storm archive database.
Excellent stuff.
Do you want to see it? I've only started work on this copy. I'm just going onto my screen share now, and I'll show you guys.
If you wish, but personally, I'd wait till it's finished. Okay.
Can you just see like how it's going to be set out?
But Michael, isn't this like the 10th database you've made a start on?
Yeah, I've lost all the others.
You've lost all the others. That's not how it's supposed to be, Mike. You're not supposed to lose all your records.
I got O2, Bakong.
Right.
We have Kate, Bansi. When do you think Cyclone Nathan's going to form then?
In the next few days, I'd say.
Was that 93p? What if
No,
it
no,
forms that?
93p won't be. The ones we're looking at, the models of the Australian region shows certainly, well, you can't say anything certain, but we were looking at possibly a new storm forming in the Australian region near the east coast of Queensland. And it's been saying that for a few days now as well. So that leads me to believe that it's not just a one-off model run there. It does possibly have some weight behind it. I don't know, looking at current satellite imagery, we'll check it out in a moment, whether there is anything already pre-existing that could develop into a storm. But we'll check it out shortly. This system is the one I'm talking about. Actually, if we just hold on a moment, you can see maybe a precursor just near Papua New Guinea there, that area right there. And you can follow it now, looking at the low symbol. You can follow it towards Australia, and then it becomes something significant, and then it takes a U-turn, and then moves towards the southeast, and eventually goes on to affect New Caledonia, and then stalls off the western coast of New Caledonia. So going to be interesting to see what happens with that. The next few days will probably be pretty enthralling from a storm tracker's point of view. Mike?
Yes.
Thank you for your input. Oh, actually, I'll just leave it on your screen for just a minute whilst I load up a satellite image of Australia and see what we can see on NextSat. There's a map of Australia at this time, the satellite imagery all around it. I think that might be day breaking just off to your southeast there, maybe. But a few areas of storminess, I suppose. This area here might be the bit that we're interested in, or perhaps this one. It looked like it was forming around that island. I'm not sure what island that is, but a small island, part of Papua New Guinea, I believe, which will then move towards the west, stall off the coast of northern Queensland, and then move towards the southeast, towards New Caledonia. I think Sean is going to be leaving us now, so thanks very much once again for your input this evening, John, and the images you've been showing us. Yes, thank you. A nice Mauritius flag again. I do like the flag. It's very colourful. All right, thanks. Thank you for taking part this evening.
And then there were two.
And Dean wants to know where the Guess the Storm game went.
So I was making my computer run slow. I need to find someone else that'll run it faster.
It broke your PC.
Pretty much.
So, sorry, Dean, about that. I would do it if I didn't have my hands full with everything else going on. Jagsco wants me to take a look at the Bureau of Meteorology website.
Should I on my database? Should I do like a local scale too? It's like say what it is on the Saffir-Simpson, and then say what it is, and then say what it is on its local scale.
Completely up to you. At the moment, I'm just looking at some of the cyclone outlooks in Australia at this time. Actually, take a look for yourselves at the screen. What's this saying? Existing cyclones nil. Yes, we got that. No significant lows in the western region. Tropical low expected to form south of Indonesia later today or Monday. Small chance of developing on Tuesday. Unlikely to be a cyclone off the coast of Western Australia by the end of the week. Pretty much what we speculated earlier, to be honest. What's this for the northern region? A low expected to develop in the Coral Sea and move west towards Cape York. A chance it will move into the eastern Gulf of Carpentaria. I don't think so, personally, but you never know. And the Coral Sea, which is the bit that's going to be rather interesting. A tropical low expected to form within the monsoon trough over the northwest Coral Sea today out tomorrow. Expected to deepen during the next few days and has a moderate potential, that is 20 to 50%, to develop into a tropical cyclone on Tuesday or Wednesday. So we'll see about that. What you're looking at right now is Invest 93p, which Fiji are anticipating will become a Category 3 storm on the Australian scale. That's Category 1/2 on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Wind speeds around 115 to 160 kilometers per hour. If indeed it does reach Category 3 status as indicated on the map. From there on in, who knows where it will go. Could be a threat to Vanuatu, could still yet be a threat to Fiji at this time. Dean Lands would like to know whether we'll be carrying on Cyclone Review Week. We sort of stalled on that one a bit, didn't we? I have no idea where we are with that. So I'm not so sure.
Stalled on that probably about May when we stopped it. Like the last video was like the views for May.
No, it wasn't that. I think we'll just be sticking to full season animations, to be quite honest, because it just makes things easier for me. There's so much work to do. Actually, maybe I'll let you in on how the Eastern Pacific season's going on the project file. I'll show you shortly. If we could just maybe not go to Michael's screen because it's showing his desktop. If Michael could just talk for a moment whilst I load the project up.
Yeah.
Hello.
So, yeah, I've also been working on some stuff as well at the moment. Just tried to do sort of like an animation sort of thing on PowerPoint, but it hasn't really worked.
Right.
It's not smooth.
Yeah. Okay, where are we? Oh, right, okay. That's good. Just referring to something else for a moment. Oh, here I am. I'm back. Hello. You can see me now. I'm just swapping to...
Nathan, look.
Yeah, Michael, you're waving. Why?
Ashway, ugly face, put it away, put it away.
Okay, excellent. This is what the thingy-majig looks like at the moment. There's Marie.
Can you see it's Category 5?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure. We'll just rewind a bit more. There's the Cat 5 Marie.
Wait, actually, yeah, it was, that looks pretty cool, actually.
As always, the storm totals are wrong, if you're wondering, by the way. I only do that at the very end of the animation. I just use templates. It probably is correct, though, that, because Marie is the 13th letter, but I think we had one in between as well. We had Walia, was it? Did we have that year?
Yeah, it's Wally.
Yeah, that would have been that would have made Marie number 14. Because I count the central as well. But that's where we're up to. Who knows what next?
So how many storms have you done then so far?
Well,
what have you got
finished up to Marie there.
How do you do that, like going along? The date?
Yeah, it's just a simple keyframe thingy-majig.
So it's just like got all of them, and it's just like going across.
Hmm.
Very
I
nice.
would random number and it changes around. Look, it's moving. It's moving on its own. Ah. Yeah, that's how it's done now. It's basically an image file with all the numbers going along for all the months, all the way to December eventually. Don't even know what month this is now. Probably November now. Anyway, very exciting. There's all the storms up there. Anyway, that's where all the geekiness is going on anyway. In the meantime, let's go back to not looking at my face. That would be pretty nice.
Yeah, exactly. Put it away.
Like a competition of who's got the worst face here, Michael.
Actually, no. Nigel Farage, vote for the tortoise cum face.
What?
That's Nigel Farage, vote for the tortoise cum face.
Very good. But there you have it. Okay. Looking at the, there's been a few new comments in there as well. Joe Mason says, other than what Wikipedia says, are there any good forecasts for the 2015 Atlantic hurricane season? Well, you can rarely predict an accurate forecast, really, can you? Because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Can't
But
say what I'm
Michael,
thinking.
I'm sure you've got an opinion on this.
Well, actually, do you want me to screen share my predictions?
Why can't you just tell us?
Well, it looks more cool.
It looks more cool then. Ugh.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Right.
I'm gonna quickly put it onto PowerPoint.
Well, be really quick about it. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you guys what I think about 2015. When I think about upcoming seasons, I look back at trends. Not to say that trends are accurate at all, but it just gives you the best possible guess, I suppose, if anything, as well as looking at perhaps the current conditions, but you can't really make head nor tail of that until the season actually gets underway, which is why the August predictions are always the most accurate. But, you know, I think the Atlantic, it's a tricky one because I've been struggling the past few years. I don't think it'll be particularly active. I don't think it'll be a record smasher. I don't think it'll be anywhere near. I reckon we'll have somewhere in the region
We have Daniel back, by the way.
Yeah, Daniel's back with us. I reckon we'll have somewhere in the region of maybe 12 to 15 storms, if lucky.
Okay, well, I'm getting my predictions almost ready now.
And we are certainly overdue for a Category 5, though. I've got to tell you that much. If we don't have a Category 5 this year in 2015, it will be 8 whole years since a Category 5 going on 9, which would have been the longest gap since, when do you think? Well, 1980 to 88 was a big gap. The one before then was probably, gee, I don't even know. But the biggest gap in recent times was between Allen in 1980 and Gilbert in 1988. I don't think there were any Category 5s in between at all.
When was our last Category 5?
In the Atlantic, it was
Felix.
In 2007, so it was a long time ago now.
Alright.
Jexco's very happy. Jexco's very happy to see that Waniel is back. And he's called you Waniel as well.
Thank you. Thank
My
you.
name will stick with you for the rest of your life.
Joe Mason, very good question. What is lucky to you, though? 12 to 15 storms, if lucky. By that I mean, I think it's likely that we will see, well, not likely that we'll see less, but I think it's more likely that we'll see less than more. Michael, have you come up with your prediction yet?
Almost.
Daniel, any ideas? I know you just came into this conversation, so you might not know what we're talking about. How many storms do you think will form in the Atlantic this year? Last year we had... How many did we have, Mike, last year?
Last year, I believe it was 9 tropical depressions, 8
Just
named
9.
storms, 5 hurricanes, and 2
Yeah.
major hurricanes.
Just 9 last year, and the year before it was
in the
13.
Atlantic.
So
Although,
what
looking at the trend from 2009, 2010 was actually quite a busy season.
it
so
was
it
in the
could
top
be-
10, wasn't it?
It could actually be that if history repeats itself, we could be in for a very busy season.
Yeah. Waniel, you look like a ghost. Oh, we've lost him. We've lost his visual, at least. Are you
But
there? Hello?
mate, hello.
Yeah.
It crashed again.
Yes, I can tell. I think we know. Everyone's pleased to see you, by the way.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So what do you think will happen? How many storms do you think will happen this year, 2015?
Me,
Yeah, in the Atlantic.
me, in
Yes, you.
total.
Yes, you, in total, in the Atlantic.
In the Atlantic.
Hmm.
What's the average?
Oh dear.
That's about 20 something, isn't it?
No, nowhere near. Here's the amateur now.
Oh, well,
I'm going to have to get all my data up here. Just give me a moment.
I
What's
believe
the average in the Atlantic?
I believe 20 is the average for the whole world, isn't it? About 24,
No.
25.
Nowhere near.
No.
The average in the Atlantic since 1851 is 9 per year. Since 2000, though, it's been 15.
Oh, right.
Just a moment, Mike.
That's the average for the Atlantic.
Yeah, since 2000 it's been 15, but since 1851 it's been just 9.
Oh. So between 9 and 15. I presume.
Okay, fine. we'll go with that.
Well, I predict around 10 or 11
Okay,
or
well,
somewhere
when you-
12.
When you'll say it's 10, there's a bit of background noise there, so we'll fade you out a bit. Michael, there's his
Okay.
presentation of his storm totals. I can't actually see it again on my screen. I don't know whether
my
it's
predictions is
or
the
not.
North Atlantic this year will have 14 named storms, 7 cyclones, and 2 major cyclones.
14, 7, and 2 was that?
Yep, for the Atlantic.
All right.
I'm going for an average season probably.
Right. Joe Mason says that the average is 12 named storms. On my data, that only applies to 1980 to 2014, so it's probably looking at past 30 years or something. Yeah, Mike?
Also, Eastern Pacific, I'd say 17 named storms, 8 cyclones, and 3 major cyclones.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Western Pacific, 27 named storms, 15 cyclones, and 6 major cyclones.
Oh, good. People can see your screen on the stream. I can't on my screen, sadly, but I'm safe in the knowledge that people can actually see it.
And also, North Indian, I'd say maybe about an average, or a below average season.
Below average.
With
That's
4
pretty
named,
low.
4 named storms, 2 cyclones, and 1 major cyclone.
Yeah, the average in the North Indian Ocean is 5 per year.
It's quite a quiet basin, although it's not as quiet as the South Atlantic.
Yeah, the average is 5 per year. Yeah, go ahead.
The South Atlantic isn't even capable of Category 5s.
Well, yeah. Sorry, Dan, what were you saying?
May I ask what happened to Jean? Did he have to leave?
Yes, he did. He did a good service this evening. Hope to see him again
Yeah.
very
How
soon.
long?
Andrew, please take that
How long has this been
demented
going on
frog
for?
off.
What was that, Dan?
How long's this been going on for so far? This stream?
We've been going for an hour and a half. 1 hour
Alright.
and 30 minutes.
So
So
not 3 hours like the 3-hour session we did.
yeah, that's only for a special one, isn't it?
How long do you aim?
Sorry.
Yeah. How long do you aim for it to?
Oh
on
yes.
for?
We're expected to finish at 9:30, so that's in half an hour. So we'll be
Oh,
finishing
yeah.
up in 30 minutes time, guys. And we'll also, if necessary, have another update on the storms later on this evening at around 2:30 a.m.
2:30 a.m.
Yeah. If
I'd
necessary.
join you, but I wouldn't have anything to talk about.
No, it's not going to be live. It's just going to be a recorded version.
Oh yeah.
I might record something for that, so if you want to put it on the end.
Depends if it's interesting.
Pardon.
Stop saying pardon. Okay, if there's any new people following the video right now, let's take a look at what the latest information is on the storms around the world. So, we know that 15S is still with us just about, but it's not a tropical storm, it's a remnant low. Wind speeds are 30 miles per hour, pressure's around 1004 millibars. It's over Madagascar right now, so heavy rain possibly occurring over there, winds probably not so much. Here's the Invest 93P located in the southern Pacific, just northwest of the Vanuatu Islands and the Solomon Islands as well. This is probably going to be our next tropical storm. Wind speeds now up to 35 miles per hour, air pressures 997 millibars, so getting pretty darn close. Here's Cyclone Haliber. This storm has formed in the past few hours. It's likely to affect the island of Réunion in the next 24 hours. It will pass pretty quickly, delivering heavy rain and perhaps some gusty winds. And finally, we have Invest 97W, a weak tropical disturbance in the far eastern part of the western Pacific, or in layman's terms, just east of Cosray in the Micronesian island chain.
Do you predict we'll have any major hurricanes this year? Category 5.
In where? We had
Nathan.
7 in 2014.
Oh.
Nathan.
Hmm.
Could I do a BBC, not BBC, I mean like UK weather update for this, please?
What now?
Yeah, if possible.
Well, if there's any people in the UK who want to hear any.
Also, if you want, I can do. I can also do.
Could you do a 7-day update?
You know, I could also do forecasts for other countries like Mauritius.
But
USA.
here's Michael. Here's the thing: the UK forecast is as simple as this. I can summarise the forecast in 10 seconds for the next 5 days. The next 5 days is going to be mostly wet with 1 day of sunshine on Tuesday. Temperatures around 10 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's it.
Share the game.
Okay.
That was the forecast. That's all you need
Actually,
to know.
Jagsco says Waniel and Michael also note a possible storm in the South Atlantic in about 3 days' time.
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier when I was on my Todd.
Okay.
We were looking at a South Atlantic development perhaps on the way. Who knows? In the next 3 or 4 days, it'll be interesting to see whether anything happens, anything comes out of that, and of course we'll be right on top of it if it does.
The hurricane season starts in May, doesn't it?
In the North
In the Eastern
Atlantic.
Pacific.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
June in the North Atlantic.
I know one of them does.
Stop digging me!
What?
Dinging!
Who's thinking who?
You're dinging me because you're in like changing my audio.
It's
Ding,
just that.
ding,
It's isn't it?
Ding! It's like having an
Stop
erection in a
dinging.
bloody. It's like
Michael,
having an erection in the
Michael.
bloody suit of armour. Ding!
Michael, thank you very much. I'll have to remove you if you carry on.
Sorry.
Indeed. There are innocent people listening, you know. I don't want to make our storm updates an over 18 affair. Thanks. In the meantime, so yes, let's just remind ourselves with this track forecast for Invest Thingamajig, Invest 93p in the South Pacific. Expected to be Category 3 on the Australian scale. Could be a significant cyclone this in the next few days, which is why I keep drawing your attention to it. So look forward to that. Not if you're in Vanuatu or in Fiji. Waniel, is there anything you'd like to say?
Not really, no.
Excellent. Michael, is there anything appropriate that you'd like to say?
Bananas.
Excellent. Moving on then.
We'd like to interrupt.
It's a hard job, this, guys.
No.
It's really a hard job trying to keep on top of people who don't really respond appropriately. I think we'll do... One day we'll probably do an over 18s version of Force 13, eh?
Oh.
Can we swear what we like?
Yeah, you will. But not on here.
Yay!
Not
Yeah.
on here. This is for the general public. You don't want to be like this when there's a storm bearing down somewhere and there's 50,000 people watching you.
Hell no.
No, Joe, I just have one message for them. Run for your bloody life.
That's a bit insensitive.
Whilst I say things that are more helpful.
What if they can't walk?
Get in your
Right.
car and drive for your life.
Right.
No,
Get
oh,
someone to
forget
carry
it.
you.
It doesn't matter.
I see. Let's just refresh ourselves with the warnings in effect. There's a heavy rain warning in effect for Mauritius right now. That was issued at 5 p.m. local time a few hours ago now, and it will remain in force for 24 hours. So until tomorrow afternoon, we will have a heavy rain warning in effect there. Réunion under also a heavy rain warning. What I can only summarise as a red alert here for the northern parts of Réunion and orange further south. That's the current situation there. No other areas under any warnings right now, as far as I can tell. I don't really think Madagascar has a particular warning system, but I may be wrong. And I'd like to say goodbye to our follower Dean Lands, because he appears to be leaving now. So thanks for tuning in. And I'll be saying the same message to everyone else very shortly, because we will be leaving pretty soon.
How he can't get his own kills, and he complains about having
So
his
there you
kills
are.
stolen. Yeah, he has.
So Michael, what do you think of the other seasons around the world?
What's like the South Hemisphere?
No, the East Pacific and West Pacific. What do you think will happen there this year? Or alternatively, do you think there'll be any bad landfalls in the Atlantic?
I think. I think
Have
we
you-
could possibly. I think we could possibly see quite a major landfall somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico.
You're off the screen, by the way. Hello. Welcome back.
Yeah, I think we're overdue for quite a major landfall in the Gulf of Mexico and in the Atlantic in a whole, really. That's all.
Okay.
Hello.
Excellent. I was just typing, sorry. It's quite difficult to multitask, type, and do other things at the same time.
It's hard for me to multitask as well.
Yeah, me too. That's why we wouldn't mind other people's help as well. If you'd like to participate in the conversation on audio, video, or just by text, you can do all of those. Just ask for, well, the best way to do it is probably to add me on Skype. Add Fool13 on there for my details.
You are a fool.
Yeah, that's my name, Fool13. So just add Fool13 on Skype. It's numbers 13, so it's Fool13. Just add that on Skype, and you can just ask me to be part of the conversation on the Hangout, and we'll be able to see you, hear you, or see you type whatever you want to do. You can also participate in our Skype chat room as well. Same means again, just add Fool13 on Skype and ask for an invite into the chat room, and we can go from there. There are currently 9 people in the chat room, so it's quite difficult to keep on top of it all the time. So there you go. Michael, do you enjoy the chat room?
Yeah. Well, I don't like the strikes.
Right. That's because you're being rude and annoying. We do have some visible imagery of the new...
Well, I'm a teenager. What do you expect?
We do have some imagery of 93p. I wasn't like that when I was 15, Mike. Or was I? There's a new image here of Invest 93p.
I bet you were a little shit when you were a teenager.
Michael, language. Dawn has broken. And it's certainly got a big flare up in the last few hours. As it heads towards southeast, that's likely to continue. We are expecting possibly big things out of this storm, but probably won't big it up too much. Michael, can you not swear on air?
That's what I know. That's rhymes.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with all the background noise on Daniel's mic, so I've had to turn him down for the time being in case anything bad happens there. So, looking at the image of the current storm of 93p right now, what do you think looking at that latest image?
Look, oh, hang on. I think that could be a very potent system, and I think it could be potentially quite a major storm for the areas it could potentially affect.
Yeah. All right, excellent stuff.
Right.
I think.
Hello.
Yes, hello, Daniel. You're here.
I'm going to have to go now because there's a bit of a crisis.
There's a crisis.
So
Of what sort?
So
I'll stay on the call, Nathan. I'll be right back. I've just got to go get down and get something.
Okay.
I'll be
Thank you,
leaving, man.
What's the crisis,
So
Daniel?
goodbye.
What's the crisis?
My sister needs me to log into my eBay account so I can buy stuff because it's about to end.
Okay, excellent.
Item
Goodbye.
listing.
Goodbye then.
Okay,
I'll let you get on with it. See you later. That was Daniel Hudson. He has several nicknames, or two actually in all. One of them is Waniel, the other one is Hudson River. So there's the latest visible imagery of the Invest 93P. We don't have visible imagery of the storms in the Indian Ocean because we are still in darkness over there. Invest 97W we might have some imagery of. Let's have a look, see whether anything's arrived for 97W just yet. Maybe not. Yes, I think. Yes, there it is. You can see the visible imagery on this storm here as well. Not much of it, as you can see. The left-hand island is Cosray, I believe, part of Micronesia. On the right-hand side, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those may be the islands of Kiribati, but I'm not too sure on that. So we'll see with that. And that's the current situation there. Just to remind you once more with the track map for the storm, for Cyclone Haliber. This was as of 10 p.m. local time in Réunion. So that was around 3 hours ago now, showing you the latest development with that storm. We'll be finishing up in 15 minutes, by the way. And Pablo Sin, thank you for commenting as well. You're saying don't forget to talk about the future Carrie in the South Atlantic. Is that going to be its name? Please let me know, because I can't actually check myself because I'm busy looking at everything else at this time. But we have been looking at that recently. We've been looking at the model runs. We'll show you again shortly to show you exactly what we're talking about over the next few days. But at the present time, warnings in effect for Mauritius and Réunion. Heavy rain warnings at this time. They're not cyclone warnings as far as I can tell. They're just rain warnings. But I'd really expect there to be cyclone warnings in effect for Réunion. No cyclone warnings in effect for Mauritius, but we might see a Class 1 warning in the next few hours when the storm begins to make its closest approach. Its name is Haliber. It's the what is it? The 8th storm of the Southwest Indian Ocean? Is H the 8th letter of the alphabet? I think it is. There goes my English out the window. And the 16th storm to form in the southern hemisphere as a whole. We're looking at a weak tropical storm, maybe 45 miles per hour, perhaps 50 if it really intensifies a bit. But we're not looking at anything particularly strong over the next few days in relation to this storm. We'll just wait for a moment for Michael to get back before we discuss what may happen in the South Atlantic in a few days' time. And of course Australia as well. That's the one we're also looking at. We may see a development near Australia in a few days. But we've also got this as well in the South Pacific. We could indeed have 4 systems active, 4 tropical storms active before long. Who knows? But you can see on the South Pacific, this is from Fiji, predicting that this storm will be a Category 3 on the Australian scale. That's Category 1/2 on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale, and takes the storm towards the southeast. The model runs actually say that the storm will probably go more towards Vanuatu and then head towards the southeast and clear New Zealand as an extratropical cyclone. As Michael returns. Hi, Mike. Mike can't hear me in a moment. Hello, Michael, once again.
Boo!
Boo, indeed. What do you think will happen with this current storm, with the Invest 93? Did I ask you that already? I can't even remember anymore.
Invest 93p. Yeah, you've already
Yeah,
asked me.
Yeah, you said about that. And do you reckon? Yes. Now we've got to look at what's going on in the South Pacific because, sorry, the South Atlantic, because we could see a new system forming there. People have already pointed out. It's probably going to be the last thing we're going to show you this evening because there isn't any further news on what's going on in the Southwest Indian Ocean. So let me just load up the area of interest right now, what we think will happen. I don't think, Michael, you've seen this yet, have you? The model run for the South Atlantic.
No, I haven't.
So
what are they like labeling Invest in the South Atlantic?
Take a look at my screen now. What was that?
What do they label an Invest in the South Atlantic? What's it? It's like letter.
Well, I thought they labelled them Q or something like that. So, first of all, you can see here on your very left-hand side of the image, there's the coast of Brazil, and there's a low-pressure system hanging off it. That could possibly be something to watch over the next few days. But not only that, but we have another system later on as well. What's all that noise?
That's Waniel.
Daniel, what's all that noise? One.
Just a sec.
Yeah, one. Anyway. Looking back at the South Atlantic, you can also see perhaps maybe even another system forming here on this map right now. So who knows whether we may even see a second subtropical or indeed tropical storm forming there. It does sort of have that signature, I suppose. Tropical storms always look a bit more rounded than the extratropical cyclones and frontal systems that you see there. But that's just speculation, pure speculation on my part there. But the first one I think is most interesting, tracking back now. You can see just off the coast of Brazil, possibly a storm forming in the next few days. Who knows, Michael? What do you think of that?
Could be interesting if it forms, and possibly maybe we could see a repeat of Cyclone Katarina, maybe.
I highly doubt that. It would have to be a really strong system. Daniel, any thoughts?
Not really, no, because I've just got.
Not really, no. Excellent stuff.
Sorry.
Well, in the meantime, I think we're going to be ending the show now. So thanks as always, everyone, for watching us. Those of you who have already departed, and
we're going to go till
those of
9:30.
you who have arrived throughout the show. Well, Michael, maybe you could show us some storm images that we could guess in the remaining time that we have.
Okay. I'll just send a. Just going to look.
Play.
Yeah, of course. We'll be finishing up in
Play, but you'll
just 10
you'll have
minutes.
to be delayed by 1 minute, okay? Then when you
Okay.
because otherwise you have an advantage. Otherwise you have an advantage over everyone else.
do type it in text. Might be a good idea.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I can't.
Why not?
I'm on my iPod at the moment.
Oh, for goodness sake. Anyway,
Okay, so
don't forget, guys, there will be another storm update coming up at 1:30 this afternoon. This morning. What am I talking about? This afternoon. 1:30 in the morning tonight. We may be seeing another update if indeed we do have a new tropical storm forming or anything about that. Pablo Sin describes Katarina as incredible. I think it was. It was a bit before my time. Michael, are we up and running, or are people just going to have to stare at me for a few more minutes? Sorry, guys. Oh yes. Is it ready, Mike?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. What storm is it? What storm is it, guys?
Which basin is it in?
No, don't give it away. What hemisphere? Oh, we know what hemisphere. It's the northern hemisphere, I think, is it?
yeah, it's Northern Hemisphere storm.
Yeah.
20 weapons for what?
So it's a Northern Hemisphere storm.
I'll
And
give you the
something-
category actually. It's a
but
category
hold-
4 storm.
Something tells me that this may have been a Pacific typhoon, but knowing you, it's probably an Atlantic storm in 2012. It usually is.
No.
Is it?
No, it isn't. There wasn't a Cat 4 that year, was there?
If you had a tradable, unusual headless horseman's head taker,
Mm.
then that would be worth a lot more than 20 weapons.
I don't know.
Pablo Sin says Katia 2011.
He just hit it on the nose because it is Hurricane Katia.
Good. Very good. I wouldn't have got that. I didn't have a clue.
Well done. I didn't get it either. It's hard.
Oh, hold on, Mike. Hold on, Mike. Don't go anywhere because I need to turn you off. Okay, now you can do whatever.
You gotta turn like so I can do it.
Yeah.
So you locked my screen, your screen.
Yeah, I can't see it. We can't see it. Don't worry.
Okay. So.
We're just waiting for a moment. Any questions, by the way, people? If you just like to do, if you want to do a question and answer session quickly, it's up to you guys whether you want to do that. You know,
Oh my god, I'm getting massive feedback.
Why are you fueling
type in a
behind
message.
you? Jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
If anyone's got anything to ask me, just put it in the comments as well.
Nathan, we're ready.
Okay, we're ready apparently.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Listen to Barack.
Hmm.
Listen to Barack. He knows.
Any
Barack
ideas?
Osama. Listen to him.
What year is this one?
2011 probably.
Hmm.
Michael? Michael, hello.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I think he's fallen asleep.
Oh, Michael's told us what year it is.
Oh.
Should we tell people or not?
Not yet.
Okay, we're not to tell people.
See if anybody shoots.
Pablo says Izel.
Yep.
He's too good for this.
Well done.
Okay, go for another
He's
one.
better than me. He's much better than me, you know. Oh, hold on, Mike. I gotta take your cam off again. Pablo, I don't know how you do it.
Your mic sounds like shit, for a start. Second of
Who's
all,
that in the background, Daniel? Swearing. I have to turn you on mute for a moment.
It's his dick-faced brother.
Michael, you're swearing as well.
Okay.
We can't have swearing on here, otherwise we'll have to make it an over 18 event, which won't be very fun because not many people will watch that. Not that many people are watching as it is, but a few people are.
Never know, it might develop a cult following.
Okay, ready.
Well, it sort of does with a few people. I mean, a lot of people watch sometimes afterwards anyway. So here we are. There's another storm.
strange out of hand.
It seems
I
like
can see shit quality.
a recent storm. Don't you think, Mike?
Can you guess?
Is it a typhoon?
Yes.
Ah, well that's a start. I wonder whether it's over any land in that picture, and I wonder whether Pablo will get it before me, even with the minute's delay. It's a tricky one. This. Just trying to think of all the storms. I wonder whether it's an absolute guess, but Typhoon Meggy.
Incorrect.
Right.
Do we tell you the year?
Pablo says Typhoon Nuri.
Correct.
Oh, well done.
Either he's very good at this game or he's very good at looking it up really quick. I can't confirm or deny either.
It's probably just like does a search via Google or something, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's pretty difficult to do. If you picked a storm from a long time ago and he gets it right, then I will absolutely applaud him without any reservation at all.
Okay, go off my thing then.
Yeah, I'm already off.
You're saying that as if your voice is broke.
Otherwise, he could have very good eyesight. So I'm gonna go off the screen share for a minute.
Okay, fair enough.
He could have very good eyesight.
No, he won't. As we enter the last 5 minutes of this production, what a farce it's been. Daniel, are you still with us?
Yeah.
You're not falling asleep?
No.
You do that
not
quite
even ready
often
for-
at this time of evening.
I'm not even ready for bed yet.
Right. Okay.
Okay,
fair enough.
ready for probably this is going to be the last one.
Okay then, Mike. Hit us with it.
Yeah, I've just got to
Hit us with
reset
it,
to
Mike.
default. And then full screen it. And then screen share.
Pablo, if you're still listening, we really need you in one of our game shows, don't we? I don't
know
if you'd
this
want
one.
to.
What are you on about? PayPal?
Hold on, we
Where's
can't.
it? Manuel?
Go on, Mike.
Well, it could be. Is it Katrina?
No.
Incorrect.
Michael,
Oh.
is it Hurricane Mitch?
Incorrect.
Right.
Surprisingly,
Mitch
this
looks
is only
bad.
a Category 4 hurricane.
Is it Hurricane Keith?
Of what year?
2000. I've got it.
What year was it?
Have I got it? Michael,
Oi!
I'm not supposed to do that.
You have got it, you penis.
Oi!
I'm gonna have to
Oi,
back
wait.
Michael. This is a Force 13 production. We can't do this.
Okay, sorry.
We're going,
Okay.
we're going to have to fire you.
You know, Pablo got it anyway, so you know. Oh dearie me. Anyway,
Knock,
Michael, you're gonna have to really sort yourself out and not swear on air because otherwise you won't be able to do a show again.
Yeah.
Knock.
You'll be fired.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No
I won't
jokes
swear.
either.
I won't swear again.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
It says.
You can only. We obviously need to launch an explicit version where you can just get out everything,
Yeah.
but it's somewhere secret. Anyway, what?
Nathan,
What?
Right,
dirty bugger.
it's time now.
Let it all out.
Right,
Enough.
whatever.
3 minutes till we finish our show. Let me just recap, if anyone is still watching, which we've lost all our viewership anyway, thanks to Michael.
How many viewers have we got?
2. Showing everything that's going on. Invest. We have Invest, such a thing. What's left of Cyclone 15. That's currently over Madagascar right now. We also have Invest 93p. That's going to be our next storm, I think. There's the latest visible imagery of it as well. We also have Cyclone Haliber, which is going to strike Réunion, move very close to that island before moving out to sea. And we also have Invest 97w, which is an Invest weak one at that. Probably not going to develop in the Western Pacific. Would you like to say your goodbyes, guys?
Yeah. Thanks, guys,
yeah.
for watching. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.
Thanks, Mike. Daniel?
Goodbye, everybody.
All right.
Goodbye, everybody. Stay
Bye.
safe.
Yeah, indeed.
Have fun. Whatever.
And from me at Force 13 HQ, thanks very much for watching, everyone. And Pablo, you're too good at that game. I want you on a game show. I challenge you. I don't know who you'll play against, but who knows?
Peace,
Play
guys.
against me.
Peace.
No. We need to put Pablo against Jagsco. That'll be quite something,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're both really good at this, just like us. Anyway, that's all from us for now. So we'll see you again soon with another live update whenever it's warranted. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.